The soundscape of pottery is something many people never notice consciously, yet it becomes unforgettable once you begin working with clay. Every pottery studio has its own rhythm, its own atmosphere, its own quiet orchestra of sounds layered together through movements, water, tools, spinning wheels, and fire. Unlike loud industrial spaces filled with harsh mechanical noise, pottery studios often feel softer, slower, and more human. The sounds are subtle, repetitive, grounding, and over time they become deeply comforting to people who work there. One of the first sounds most potters learn is the sound of the clay hitting the wheelhead, a soft but heavy thud, wet earth meeting metal. It is a simple sound, but it signals the beginning of creation. Before anything is shaped, the wheel spins. There is a moment when the clay lands firmly in place, right at the middle of the wheelhead. Then comes the spinning wheel itself. The steady hum of the motor becomes almost hypnotic, continuous and circular, like background breathing. As the wheel turns faster, water splashes lightly against spinning clay. Hands glide across the surface with quiet friction. The sound changes depending on the amount of water, the speed of the wheel, and the pressure of the fingers. An experienced potter can often hear when something is wrong before fully seeing it. Too much friction creates roughness. Uneven walls produce instability. A collapsing form changes the rhythm completely. Pottery is surprisingly musical in that way. The hands listen as much as they touch. There is also the sound of trimming tools carving through leather-hard clay. A delicate scraping sound as ribbons of clay peels away from the surface and fall onto the table in soft coils. Slow, controlled, repetitive. Many potters find this stage incredibly satisfying because the sound matches the careful concentration of the process itself. Then there is wedging, the preparation of clay before throwing. Clay folds against itself again and again and again with dense rhythmic compression. Push, fold, turn, repeat. It sounds physical and grounding, almost like kneading bread. Air bubbles are removed, moisture becomes even, and the clay slowly becomes smoother beneath the hands. Even without seeing it, you could often recognize the sound of someone wedging clay nearby. Pottery studios are often filled with quieter background sounds people rarely think about. Buckets of water moving gently across the floor, brushes tapping against glazed containers, sponges squeezed over basins, the clicking of tools laid down on wooden tables, footsteps carrying clay dust across the concrete floors, and then there is silence. Not empty silence, but walking silence. And during cooling, there is one sound many potters know well, the soft pinging of cooling ceramics. As the temperature drops, pottery contracts slightly. Tiny metal-like pings echo quietly from inside the kiln. To outsiders, the sound may seem insignificant, but to potters, it signals transformation still taking place. Even after the firing ends, the clay continues adjusting, settling, becoming fully ceramic. Then finally comes the moment the kiln opens. The room often grows unusually quiet, not because there is no sound, but because everyone pushes to look. Shelves shift slowly. New glazed colors emerge from the heat. Successful pieces sit beside unexpected failures, and for a moment, anticipation replaces movement. Pottery is full of sounds most people overlook in daily life. The sound of water against clay, the spinning wheel, the scrape of tools, the breath of fire inside a kiln. Together, they create something more than background noise. They create atmosphere, a soundscape connected to patience, touch, rhythm, and transformation. And perhaps, in one reason, pottery feels so calming to many people, because before the finished object even exists, the process itself already sounds like peace.